there we go. That's better. Gotta say, that's an absolute genius idea from quite a few of you in the comments actually, after the last video. Get some CCTV up in the place. And I hadn't thought about it, but it's a really good idea. So, I went straight down to the store and bought myself a set because you're right, something doesn't feel right. So, at least I've got an idea of what's maybe going on when I'm not here at the moment. So, let's hope nothing's happening, but at least now we've got something in place to check. Right, back to business. And it's bale time. We're going to finish this baling. If you remember the last episode, we got all of the linseed off the field, but there is a lot of straw on the field, which I think could make us quite a lot of money. Now, it's getting towards the end of the day. It's nearly 5 PM now. I know it's summertime, so the sun is high in the sky, but what I might do is run the combine down to the contract that we've got going. So remember, we've got a small contract on the go. We'll run that down there, and Willie said he's going to come back after his dinner and get that combining done. So while he's away doing that, we'll carry on with the bales here. So there's the harvesting contract, £2,860 on field 122, and take the product back to Valley View stores. Remember, we took these 2 big forage contracts as well. We're going to hold on to those, and we'll probably do those tomorrow. But it would be great to get this harvesting contract done tonight. And that really signifies the end of harvest. When we look down on what's here, always there's loads of baling contracts, just because the amount of grass on this map. But we've got a little cultivating contract there in field 40. That's interesting because we took the crops off that in the last episode. Lots of forage contracts again. It is a very silage heavy map, this, and just the one harvesting contract. We'll see tomorrow if there's any other harvesting contracts, but in the meantime, we shall run this over to field 122. Right, here we are on the field. We're going to, because it's quite a narrow field, we're going to do the combine self-unload thing, so we're just going to leave the tractor here. And Willie can dump into it from here without having to worry about us tailing him and wasting somebody sitting around just waiting for the combine. So we can head back, go and sort the bales. Hopefully by that time the field here will be finished, the grain will be sitting in the trailer ready to go. I don't think this field is going to fill this trailer entirely, so we're in a good spot really. Willie just cutting the headland out there so we can get around. So yeah, no, that's the best way to do this one, I think, and we can focus on those bales. Right, one more thing we're going to do as well before we jump into those bales, because James is just finishing off the baling, and then he's going to go home, and I said I'd pick up the loading of the bales, is feed the cows. So let's just pop this into a decent position where we can load into it, and I'm going to take this opportunity to get rid of those bales out of there and free up this space potentially to shift these bales over. I'm not going to worry about it just now because we have got that good price, so we're going to sell all the bales in the field. But for future, we can start storing machinery in there from the other farm. Now we've had a good mixture actually of discussion, I suppose you could call it, on what we do with the contractor's yard versus what we do with home farm. Some people saying, do you know what, they're two separate businesses, keep the two separate. A lot of people saying consolidate the two together. I think people are slightly worried that people forget I'm a contractor in the area if my presence disappears from down there, which I can totally see the argument for that. I think that makes total sense. Now, whether or not they will, that's up to me to make sure that I'm doing a good job and people know about me. But it does make sense to have everything in one place, so I probably am going to, and I think probably over the majority of the people who left comments after the last video, the majority were suggesting that we move everything into one place. So I think that is what we will do, but I do take on board what other people said, and actually the view from me is we will keep the big shed down there with the combines in, the things that we don't need very often, and maybe some of the older tractors. I do think is a good idea, so there will be some signage up. I don't think we're going to get rid of the field. It's too valuable in terms of returns or crops or things to plant in it, so we could do that. We could make the field a bit bigger though if we remove one of the sheds. Right, there we go. One silage bale in. Let's grab another one. I do like this bale grab actually. For those of you who scorned me for using auto load, I actually quite enjoy this as well. Stacking them, now that's a different issue, but loading them into the wagon, I'm alright with that. Now, I can't remember the best makeup for mix in here. That's one of my only gripes with the little display there as well. It doesn't tell you percentage full. That would be amazing if it did that. Of course, like I said, we want to move some of these to the other shed, but I'm not going to do it right now. Let's pop this in. I think it was a third silage bale with this mix. Gets you the best balance. So let's see. Let's just watch those numbers balance out before we jump out. Is everything going to stay in the green? I don't see. I think there's too much straw. It just tips into the red, doesn't it? Now I could go with hay or I could go with silage, but because I want that third silage bale out of this shed here, I'm just going to grab this. Technically, you'd probably put hay in to bulk it out, because obviously the silage bales are worth more. But we shall see. Look, contractor field 122 is 43% complete already. Things are going well. Right, here we go. This should give us almost a full load as well. There we go, just sneaking in with the hay there as well. Look at that, 22.5%. Now if I check this, we should be in the 90s. 90% exactly. Excellent. Right, let's put this back away. Let's feed the cows. There we go. Top the cows up, that'll keep them going a bit longer. Again, we could go with a few loads of this, but actually they're eating it. They're not eating it particularly quickly, so that will do them fine. And I should be able to reverse this just into the shed over here, and we'll be good. Good old TW. Quite a powerful tractor for feeding animals, but she's a classic, and it's nice to keep her running. Right. Let us go and sort these bales now. Ah yes, because we'd left some of the headlands. We'll grab those first before we start picking things up. So if you'll give me just a couple of minutes to tidy things up, we'll be back. Right, there we go. There's a couple of little bits in here, but in general I think that's just about it, and there wouldn't be enough in here to gather up for another bale, so we'll just accept defeat on that one and leave that bale for the next field. We can eject, I think, this one though. If I stop this, there's one bale in there. Yep, let's get rid of that. Okay, get the bale folded up here, and we'll swap things over and use the bale grabs. Now I consciously didn't hook those up to the JCB because I'd quite like to use them with the Massey for a change. I think it could be quite good fun, but we'll put this in the shed because I don't think we're going to need it. The straw on that oat field that Willie's combining at the moment, the farmer's keeping that, so we can't sell that. We can't take that off the field afterwards. So we will put this away until the next time it's needed. Right, let's get hooked up. I've got a bit of a plan for these. I'm not going to put them straight onto the trailer. And I'll tell you why. We want to get these off the field before it gets dark. So, if we can get them all off the field and stacked near the manure pit just over there, then we can, at our leisure, load them onto the trailer and take them down to the sell point. If we leave it too much longer, they're going to end up in the field overnight, and actually trying to grab all these bales out of the field in the dark would prove to be a bit of a challenge, because you end up missing some of them because you can't see where you're going. So what we're going to do double loads, front and rear, run them up there, stack them in a nice big pile, and then take things from there. So we'll see you soon. Right, there we are. Now, that didn't take too long at all. My only challenge is that, well, you saw it, I left it in, the absolute calamity about 4 stacks in, where we reversed too hard into it and knocked it all over. And then, when trying to pull away, stood on the wrong pedal again and rammed it all into the bunker. So, what we'll do, we'll drop this off here. We would have been perfect on 4 bale stacks as well, and I'll show you why we're not, because you may have noticed on the time lapse that we've lost one. One bale has gone into the nether portal, so I'll show you where it is, but whether or not we can get it out when we load them up onto the trailer, I don't know, but we shall see. We shall see, but there we go. Whole load done, and of course I left it on auto load, so now that's gone to the other side, but that's fine. There we go, drop that off, and while we're here, let me show you where our final bale is. There it is, absolutely buried in the ground. Not sure if that's ever coming out, but and this is a little bit wonky. I didn't realise the ground was a little bit uneven there. If that was a little bit further forward. That isn't a bad stack of bales though, is it? I've seen worse. I have seen worse. Right. Now, we've done that. I do believe the contract's over on the other field, so I'm going to run that grain to the store, get the best price we can for it before the end of the day. And then, light and time permitting, we'll get these onto the trailer and down to the sell point. A lot of bales there, look at that. Sure enough, here we are. Combine's done its job. Willie's headed off home. Left the combine all locked up. If I jump in here, look at that, 94% of a trailer. That couldn't have worked any better if it had tried. Right, let's get these over to the sell point and tick the box for another contract. Oh, it's nice straw in here as well. Shame we're not taking this stuff. Here we go. The nice thing about this, we're tipping at Valley View stores, so we're home at home farm. We don't have to drive anywhere after we've tipped, which is great. So we'll run up here. As you can see, the light is definitely starting to go now. It's going to be relatively dusk soon. So we need to move if we're going to get those bales loaded up and away. Now, because they're square bales and we can stack them pretty easily, I'm kind of hoping we might be able to get that entire load onto one trailer. I might be being optimistic, but it would be very cool if we can. And before we head off, and before we even load them up, I am going to do a triple check and make sure that price is still good, because if it's not, we'd be better off stacking them in the shed and selling them when the price is right. But speaking of the price being right, let's get this tipped and get this contract closed off. There's our trigger. Let's watch it tip. Oh, an extra 668 in profit as well. Happy days. But that is done, so we should be able to click into here, head down to contracts, completed harvesting 2,860. Let's collect that. Come back out, up to 820,000 in the bank. Now, a few of you commented about pay off some of your loans and things like that. We will in time, but actually the interest on the loans is so low, it's more beneficial for us to have the money in the bank at the moment. I think we'll get to probably a milestone figure like $1 million, and then use some of the capital then to pay off some of the loan. But until then, I think we're in a good position. We're not too bad at all. So, there we go. Let's get this back in the yard. Let's get it parked up. We'll bring the combine back over as well. In fact, we'll leave the combine in the field. The farmer said he's happy for us to leave it there. He's not going to pick his straw up tonight, he said, so we can go and collect that some other time. But let's pop this in the shed, and then let's get those bales loaded up. Right, into the JCB. This can be our towing tractor, although with the weight of bales on this, we maybe need something a bit more powerful, but you know what? We'll go with this for now and see how we get on. Now I want to find somewhere relatively flat to put this, so we don't have any issues with bales toppling. I think probably about here is as good as anywhere. Make sure we can get past that wall there. Now, I was going to stack them end on end, but I think we're going to struggle to do that. So I think it's going to be stacks this way. You know what? We're just going to give it a go and see what happens. But before we do that, let's check that bale price. There we go, garden centre bales. The price is still £46, so we're going to get rid of these while we can. So let's see just how much money we can make from this. Right, I think it's safe to say things so far have not gone to plan. So we're going to start again. I can actually hear you all laughing at me on the video a few days after I've done this and published it. I can hear you giggling at me, but it's okay. I deserve it. This has been a bit of a shambles. I am not going to lie to you. This is when autoload doesn't go in your favour because it decides to pick up random bales further into the stack than the four at the front. So we're just going to have to deal with this. We could end up with a few messy stacks here, but we'll grab them and we'll load them up. Hopefully the trailer doesn't go for a wobble as well. If you saw it tip, I wasn't anywhere near it. It was like it was some sort of phantom unload, but we will make sure that we get all of these onto the trailer at some point. At this rate, it's going to be very dark by the time we do it, but we'll do it. So, bear with me. Okay, let's jump back into that time lapse. And let's hope but we get a little bit further than we did last time. There we go. Nobody say a word. Not a word from any of you. This is the worst stack trailer I have done in a very long time. I am not proud of it. But if it fits, it ships. So, not bad at all. 32 bales on there, and we have got 3 over there. 3 here, maybe a 4th. Oh, there's 4 there. And maybe another one buried under the ground. So what I'm going to do, before we take these ones to the store, I am going to try and extract that one from under the ground. Now actually I think we might keep these 8 here. It can contribute to the feed for the cattle. But what we'll do, well, I'd love to extract that one from under the ground. I'm not optimistic we're going to be able to, but we'll give it a go, because that'll leave us 2 full stacks, which would be nice. So let's just drop those there and see the powers of auto grab will allow us to extract this one from its hiding place under the ground, and it has. Happy days. Right. So we can put that one with these 3. There we go. And then we'll pick up the other 4 with the rear grab. Go. Well, 3 of them. 4 of them. There we go. Right. Let us get this out of here. Sick of the sight of it. Right, I'm glad we put those security cameras up, and I'm glad none of them are pointing down there, because, to be honest, that was a crime in bale stacking tonight. An absolute crime. So we've already caught something that needs reporting to the police. Right. Enough joking around. Serious business. Serious head back on now. Let's get these tucked into the back of the shed here. Like so. Something like that. And back in with these ones. Let's try and do this in cab, see if we can get things lined up, which I think will be hard. Because of the fact you can't really see anything. Yeah, I'm guesstimating what's happening here. Hopefully, when we hit them, they'll stop. There we go. I don't know what that's like, but it'll do for me. Look at that. That's almost perfect, isn't it? Excellent. Right. Job done with the bale grabs. Where shall I put these? I know exactly where I'm going to put these. In our shed round here. Somebody did say in the comments, actually, use this for the smaller equipment. And this is exactly where this sort of stuff could go. He says, as he can't manoeuvre in there. We can, though. Yeah, look at that. Easy. So we'll put the rear one there, like so, and we'll spin this around and maybe drop it in front of it. There we go. Roll it up. something like that. Let's turn our HUD on so we make sure we're disconnecting the right piece of equipment. That is what we want. Job done. Right. Let's go sell the others. Right, here we go. 264,000 litres of bales. What could that possibly sell for? We're going to find out. Right, not far away now. After this, I'm trying to work out what we do. I did see there was a little cultivating contract we could maybe sneak in before the end of the day. Depends how big the field is. We'll have a check once we've sold these bales. But it did look quite good. And I haven't done a cultivator contract in a while, and to be honest, we're prepping for those 2 big forage contracts tomorrow. So maybe it's a nice little way to finish the day. We have got time and we have got light. Thought it might be darker by now, but we've got through this stuff a little bit quicker than I thought. Here we go, garden centre bales. And the reason I'm doing this tonight and not parking it up and doing it tomorrow is because that price might change. We've given them a lot of bales in the last day or so, and I'm very paranoid that that good price will go. I'm surprised it's as high as it is at the moment, so let's see what we get from this. Our biggest load of bales ever, and let's be honest, quite a lot of hassle getting them to this point. That was the hardest load we've done in a while. So let's put the HUD up so you can see the results. Unlatch it, and there we go. Selling, 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 selling. 12,341 pounds. That is a nice little earner, isn't it? You cannot turn that kind of money down. Fantastic. Right, back we go to home farm, and then we'll have a think about whether or not we can squeeze that contract in. Right, here we are, back home. Now, this trailer is so long, I actually think the best place for it is probably here, next to the manure pit. Nice bit of flat land where we had the bales. It might just work there. So, there we go. I'm going to leave it there. Drop it off. Easy to access. And we are done. Right. There's no space up here for a tractor anymore, I don't think. So, we'll pop this in here. And we'll just quickly have a look at that contract. Just like to point out as well, they've finished fermenting. So, I want to just check the price of those as well. Let's just do that. Yes, as I thought, January for those. So we're about as rock bottom as we could be at the moment. So we'll just wait for that to build all the way back up. Although the price difference isn't huge, 153 to 190. If you're adding a lot of it together, it's worth waiting. Right. Now, look, we've tidied everything up. And we should have washed a few things. So trailer's looking messy, bales looking messy, both tractors here are looking a bit messy. Land of the forage harvester's in an absolute state as well. In fact, I'm definitely going to wash that before we get things started tomorrow. So I'm going to maybe wash that in a little minute. But just before we do, I'm going to check that contract. Well, looky here, it's Field 40, our split friend. That is one worth doing, because that won't take us much time at all. So I'm absolutely going to grab that contract. We can squeeze that in before the end of the day. There it is. Just £2,000 now. We don't have a cultivator per se, but we do have our power harrow, so I'm hoping that will do the same thing. And also, it's another piece of equipment we can then bring back to the yard when we're done. So, I think we go and get it. And as the Massey sitting at the front here, it's the Massey we'll take. Here we are, down at the other yard, and there it is, the Alpego. Let's grab that. I reckon we've got seeders, planters, sprayers, we've got everything here. We literally could do any job on any farm, except for potatoes. Don't have potatoes. Right, let's get this folded up. Let's head over to field 40 and get started. It's literally just around the corner, so it won't take long. There's old faithful Renault as well. Need to give that a run. Not been out for a while. Right, here we are. And let's remember to do both sides of it, shall we? That would be a definite improvement on the last time we did a contract in this field. Right, let's get on with it. Right, there we go. All done and dusted. We shall power down the harrow. We'll get it folded up and we'll head back to the farm. I think that's us for the day. There we go, back at the yard. Okay, let's... Just trying to think where I should pop this. I think I'm just going to stick it in this shed here for now for ease. We'll do that. And that is us. Do need to unfold this one though, which is a bit annoying. You can't put it down when it's folded up, but there we go. No real hardship, is it? They don't hit it off those fertilizer boxes, but that looks okay. Right. In fact, I might just leave it hooked up and leave the tractor in here tonight as well. There we go. Right, lights off. Engine off. Right. Time for a bit of dinner, I think.